welcome to the Amateur Redneck Workshop. I'm Harold. Today I'm going to take my Harbor Freight vise, which is supposed to suck, but it sucks at sucking. Doesn't make any sense. Anyway, it's one of those vices that's supposed to suction itself down on the table and stay there while you do whatever you're doing with the vise. Filing something, drilling something, putting something together. Who knows? Anyway, it sucks at sucking. I guess that's all there is to say, because it won't stick to the table. Well, I'm going to turn it into a good, useful vise here in a few minutes. And before we get into that, though, I got to tell you, Bubba's off deer hunting, so we're going to have to visit Ole. Ole lives up in Minnesota, and they do a lot of nice things up there. And they got some stuff called lutefisk, and it's what it is. It's codfish that are normally codfish that you take and you soak it in water for a few days, and then you soak it in lye water and for a few days, and then you soak it in pure water to get rid of the lye. And then when they cook it, it's I understand if they salt it before they cook it and draw most of the water out of it, and then they clean off the salt and cook it in a steamer or something. And I've never had any of it, but I wouldn't mind trying it someday. Anyway, lutefisk means lye fish, so I guess that sort of clues you into the lye that was used to start it. And lye is pretty useful in cooking stuff. You make hominy by soaking hard corn in lye, and then you wash the lye off of the stuff, and you've got hominy. It makes the corn kernels swell up nice and big. Some people don't like it, but I do. So the wife won't eat it. The boss lady cooks it for me and just turns her nose up at it. So that's more for me, I guess. Well, Lars, Sven, and Ole were working in, I think, a lutefisk factory, or doing something, making lutefisk somehow. And they got involved in the big lutefisk accident and got killed, and they went to heaven because, they were good boys. And so when they get up to heaven, God meets them and he says, look here, he says, heaven's a pretty serious place. He says, we don't like a lot of joking and carrying on and things like that up here. So he says, there's 3,000 steps all the way up to the pearly gates. And he says, every 1,000th step, I'm going to stop and tell you a joke. And if any of you laugh, he says, you're going straight to hell. You're not going to get into heaven. So they get the first, the 1,000th step. And God tells a joke, and Lars just busts out laughing, straight to hell, So they get to the 2,000th step. God tells a joke. Sven's trying hard not to laugh, He's trying. Finally, he can't take it, and he just busts out laughing, and off to hell he goes. They hit the 3,000th step. God tells a joke. Oh, he kind of looks at him, doesn't laugh or nothing. They go on to the pearly gates, and just as they get in the gates, they just bust out laughing something awful, and God says, what's the matter with you? What's the cause of this? And he says, I just got the first yoke. It was lucky for him, wasn't it? And anyway, let's go over on the other side of the room and look at my vise that's supposed to suck and doesn't. The big job for today is to make that little guy useful. I guess everybody has seen these things of one manufacturer or another. This one just happens to be the Harbor Freight model. So that makes the tripod stand up taller. The big tripod's out in the garage. Alright, that's probably lopsided, but it's there. Alright, so this is supposed to be a suction vise, supposed to, this little lever, I took it out, but you pull the little lever, it pulls up on the center of this rubber piece and makes it suck down to the tabletop. and you get your file and you come back to start and it lets go. And I don't have a surface around here that it hangs on to more than about 30 seconds or so. When I got it, I happened to look on YouTube, and there's a couple of guys on there telling how really wonderful this vise is, but they had all the comments disabled. And it was easy enough for me to figure out why. But what I'm going to do to make this usable is I'm going to take this bottom off. I'm going to drill through these 3 little thick spots. And I'm going to screw this sucker onto a piece of plywood, and then I'm going to clamp the plywood onto my table here, and I can then have a vise that holds still and moves around and easily positioned. I guess Tom Lipton and others have got me into thinking about this. Randy Richards into the vise thing now too. He's making a vise or a vise mount. He's into the Wilton baby bullet vices along with Tom Lipton. Well, this is the baby dud vise from Harbor Freight, and I'm going to make it into something useful. So this is going to be a nice short video. We'll go out in the garage here in a minute after I've had time to take a little nap, and we'll drill the holes and mount it on the plywood and come back in here and give it a test. This drill table turns in a circle, swings around side to side, and as a result, practically any place on the table can wind up right under the drill. So I've got it set in this manner, and I'm going to try to maneuver it around so that I can drill right in all these little thick spots to put the screws. So let's see what happens. That part seemed to work out really well. I had a drill bit here, so that's what I've got there. Oh boy. Well, I did have, oh there it is, okay. I've still got the drill bit. I just didn't bring it all the way over here. Alright. Like I said, this is a simple, easy project. The whole thing will be over in just a few minutes. Alright. Turn this a little bigger around. Another hole. That looks like it's close. Alright, that's that. All I got to do now is get a piece of plywood and cut it. We'll be right back. Alright, so now we'll cut out a piece of plywood for the thing. And I found a piece over there. It looked like it'd do just about right. So I'll set this thing up, hopefully in a position where it'll cut the stuff. May not be very straight, but I know it's going to be very straight. That's not going to cut it because it can't reach. I'll get something that does a better job, and I know I'll get something that'll cut straight and do a better job. So I'm going to stop this and I'll come back shortly. Well, this is going to throw sawdust all over everything in here, but it'll make good straight cuts. So 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, I guess. I'm ready to face shield. Yeah. So there we are. Covered with sawdust, get it all down my neck and everywhere, but it's cut. Next step. I got carried away and screwed in the screws before I remembered to turn on the camera. But there you are. Now to take it back upstairs and clamp it down and put the top back on it, and it'll be a real vise for a change. Alright, so there we are. A vise for light work. I tightened that down pretty tight, but leans over. Doesn't fall off of the table. That'll do the job. This stuff here, garbage can. Don't need that anymore. So, it's finally the useful vise it was advertised as. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and please leave a few comments. See you around. Bye.